Okay, and for the answers to the bell ringer, well, for 49, we have 27 divided by 9. Well, I know that 9 times 3 equals 27, so 27 divided by 9 equals 3. For number 50, 48 divided by 6. 6 times 8 equals 48, so 48 divided by 6 equals 8. For number 51, 56 divided by 4. Well, I don't know what times 4 equals 56, so I will do some long division here. Remember, it's 56 divided by 4, and when we write that as a long division problem, 56 is what we're dividing, so it goes inside, and we're dividing by 4. So that's what goes on the outside. 4 goes into 5 once, which is 4. And 4 goes into 16 4 times, which is 16. So 56 divided by 4, or 56 divided by 4, equals 14. Finally, I'll do a long division on this one as well. 153 divided by 9. 153 divided by 9. Well, 9 goes into 15 one time. 1 times 9 is 9. Subtract. Bring down. 9 goes into 63 7 times. And 7 times 9 is 63. So the answer is 17. 153 divided by 9 equals 17. All right, well, this is lesson 1.4. It's found on page 24 in your textbook. And here the key idea is multiplying. Okay, so we're going to be multiplying integers. There's two different scenarios. Multiplying integers with the same sign, and then multiplying integers with different signs. This is actually easier, I think, than adding or subtracting integers, because here's the rule. The product of two integers with the same sign is positive. So, same sign, positive. Same sign, positive. Here we have two positives and we get a positive. Now you knew that 2 times 3 equals 6. We've known that for a long time. But here negative 2 times negative 3 also equals a positive 6, because same sign when multiplying and dividing, same sign, positive. Now don't do what some students do and fall back into adding and subtracting, and then they say, wait, same sign, positive. No, that's only when you're multiplying and dividing. So when multiplying, same sign, positive, same sign, positive. Second scenario, when multiplying with different signs. When the product of two integers with different signs, the product of two integers with different signs is negative. Okay, so here we have 2 times a negative 3, negative 6, because we have different signs here. Negative 2 times 3, negative 6, because they were different signs. So when multiplying, same sign, positive, different sign, negative. That's it. The lesson really could just be that quick, but we're going to do a couple examples and you're going to work through some problems. So, example 1, multiplying integers with the same sign, negative 5 times negative 6. Same sign, so our answer is going to be positive 30. Negative 5 times negative 6 equals positive 30. Why is it positive? Because same sign, positive, when multiplying. Sometimes we'll be multiplying with different signs. Here we have 3 times a negative 4. Different signs. So our answer is going to be negative 12. Negative 12. Over here, negative 7 times 4. Different signs. 7 times 4 is 28. But because it's different signs, it's negative 28. Here are some for you to do on your own. All right, well, those problems hopefully didn't take you too long. Let's go over them rather quickly here. Number 1, 5 times 5. Well, I know 5 times 5 is 25, and same sign, so it's positive. Number 2, 4 times 11. 4 times 11 is 44. And again, same sign, so it's positive. Number 3, 1 times 9 is 9. Same sign, even though they're both negative, it's still the same sign, so it's positive. 7 times 8 is 56, same sign, so it's positive. 12 times 2 is 24. Different sign, so it's negative. 4 times 6 is 24. Different sign, so it's negative. Now I've got 3 factors down here. I'm going to go from left to right. Negative 10 times negative 6. These are the same sign, so it's going to be a positive 60 times 0. Well, anything times 0 is 0. Here, and pay attention to this one, there's one like this on the quiz at the end of the chapter, and some kids will look at this and say, wait, they're all the same sign, so my answer must be positive. No. We multiply 2 factors at a time. So here we go. Negative 7 times negative 5. 7 times 5 is 35. And same sign, so it's positive. And now we're multiplying by negative 4. 35 times 4 is 140. Different sign, so negative. So you go 2 at a time. And what you could do is say there's an odd number of negatives here, and an odd number of negatives results in a negative product. An odd number of negatives here, there's just one, negative product. An odd number of factors here, negative product. An even number of negatives, positive. An even number of negatives, positive. But since we just do 2 at a time, you can say same sign, positive, different sign, negative. But when you have more than 2, be careful, you're only doing 2 at a time. Okay, 2 at a time. Good job. Well, the next part of this lesson is using exponents. And hopefully you already know that when you're raised to the second power, that means you're multiplying this by itself twice. Okay? If you raise something to the third power, you're multiplying that by itself 3 times. But we're going to work with some negatives in here. So let's look. The exponent applies to exactly what it touches. And this little exponent 2, this squared, is touching parentheses. Therefore, these parentheses are like a big hug around this negative 2. It keeps it together. This touches the parentheses, so we write that 2 times. Parentheses negative 2 times parentheses negative 2. Okay? So negative 2 in parentheses squared is negative 2 in parentheses times negative 2 in parentheses. And that's a big deal, and we'll see that when we get to part B here. But negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4, because same sign, positive. Well, let's look at this one. It's a very similar problem, but it doesn't have the parentheses. So what is that 2 touching? It is touching the 5. It's not touching negative 5. The negative's out front there. It's not held together to that 5 with parentheses, so the 2 is just touching the 5. So now we only multiply the 5 by itself, and that negative is still just hanging out front. We'll get to that at the end. So negative 5 squared with no parentheses is the same as negative 5 times 5. Well, 5 times 5 is 25, and now we'll put that negative on, negative 25. Notice the difference here. When we square a negative number and it's in parentheses, we end up with a positive. When we square a negative number and it's not in parentheses, we end up with a negative. And we're going to have to pay attention to that. This is really something that's new, and it'll probably catch you a couple of times this year, as we will see it throughout the year. Here we go to the third power. Well, it's in parentheses, so we write it in parentheses negative 4 times in parentheses negative 4 times in parentheses negative 4. And remember, we take these 2 at a time. Negative 4 times negative 4 is positive 16, same sign, positive. Then positive 16 times negative 4, negative 64, because different sign, negative. Well, here are some to try on your own, and you're gonna pause this and try these on your own. Feel free to go back and revisit these examples while you do these problems. All right, well, let's look at these. The first one is -3 in parentheses squared. So that squared is touching parentheses. So we write in parentheses -3 times in parentheses -3. Well, a negative times a negative is going to give me a positive, because same sign positive, and 3 times 3 is 9. Here, I have -2 in parentheses to the third power. So I write -2 in parentheses times -2 in parentheses times -2 in parentheses. -2 times -2, 2 times 2 is 4, same sign, so it's positive, times another -2. Well, 4 times 2 equals 8, and this time different sign, so it's going to be -8. And we should have known that all the way up here because an odd number of negatives is going to give me an odd product. Number 11, -7 squared, not in parentheses. So what this equals is a -7 times 7. Well, 7 times 7 is 49. So I have -49. That negative gets applied after I do the multiplication. Last one, -6 to the third power. That's the same as -6 times 6 times 6. Well, 6 times 6 is 36, and 36 times 6 is 216. So I have 216, and now that negative gets applied at the end. Okay, so positive times a positive gives me a positive 36, times a positive 6 gives me a positive 216, and then I apply the negative at the end. So number 12 is -216.